If one more label try to stop me, it'll be another label, wish they wouldn't sign me. You don't want no problems, no problems with me. You don't want no problems, no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Up on the stage, and the crowd be like, here she goes. You don't want no problems, no problems with me. You don't want no problems, no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Up on the stage, and the crowd be like, here she goes. I be grinding, writing songs, doing gigs in the studio, recording every day. That's how it is. 2 jobs all day, all night, no sleep. Got a show, hit the crib, change clothes. That's how it be. Guys, I've been honest, trying to get signed, y'all. Ain't gonna let no label rob me of my shine, yo. Not me, yo. You can keep those contracts, that's why not me, yo. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage, and the crowd be like, this yo. You don't want no problems with me. You don't want no problems with me.
Right. Well, welcome to another IAG radio show exclusive experience. We have B with the T with us. We have DJ Trev holding it down for us. And in spirit, we have our good old friend and sister to the show, Torian. Just keep her in spirit. You know, she working, getting things right, running them numbers and everything else like that. So let me just start things off correctly. How are you all feeling right now? Like, what's going on?
I'm feeling happy because tomorrow is a day off.
I know that's right.
Spirit fingers. Spirit fingers. Absolutely.
I'm happy for a paid day off. Let me rephrase, a paid day off.
A true holiday that's, well, it's not a true holiday, but a day that's paid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, clearly.
That I don't have to clock in and look at the computer.
Or answer your phone 5,000 times, right?
You already know.
All right. Trav, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm glad and thankful just that the family's all well. Everybody's got their health for the most part, and you know, still here kicking. Ready to get out and do some things, but I'm also okay. I've been finding ways to entertain myself and get into other things in the house, so I'm good, feeling good.
That's a good look for sure. I think I'm pretty much in a good space right now. You know, I decided to participate in a 100-mile in a month challenge that started as of yesterday. So far, I've done 9.26 miles. So I'm, you know, the endorphins are releasing themselves. And I also decided to, you know what I'm saying, to just shave, you know, my head a little bit to give myself some breather from all the walking and the salt collectation that was happening and everything else like that. So what I'm doing is, I'm just simply, you know, getting myself ready for the new part of whatever we have to experience. I know a lot of us have put on some quarantine weight, and you know, instead of it being a circumstance by which you just kind of talk about it and you just say, man, these are these negative things about myself, I'm actually actively deciding to do something. And this was something my principal chose to do, Principal Boop chose to do, just to show that we are tight and tough and that we're tight and fit and that, you know, we're keeping it moving. So, you know, I think everybody hates looking at those memories that Facebook so unnecessarily at times, good times, but sometimes shows us what we might have looked like when we were younger. And you're like, ooh, wow, that person right there.
I don't need the reminder.
Right. The reminder is what is a killer sometimes. But I'm coming for that fine ass person that, you know, I was a few months ago, a few years ago.
Look, you find at any stage. That's what you want for that healthy. You find at any stage.
Thanks, cousin.
Fluffy or thin.
Come on, Fluffy.
That's what you gotta tell yourself.
Come on, Fluffy. Fluffy. Yes. All right. So in the idea of holidays that should be paid, we just celebrated Juneteenth. And some of us might have experienced being off of work for that. Did any of you all get that luxury?
Nah.
No, it was a work day, but you know what they did? They did let us out a little early. They gave us 59 minutes in recognition of it.
Oh,
I didn't. I
That's,
got
yeah.
no time off and no acknowledgement.
I must say FEMA, or at least my office, they have surprised me recently where they have been having those difficult conversations in the office and recognizing some issues that Black folks are facing. Yeah, they've been talking about it. So I'm surprised.
What about?
Hmm?
What did that look like? An
Well,
email or?
yeah, of course it was initially the email, but before we even went into quarantine per se, they started a culture council. They wanted to change the culture of the office and not really focused on racism or diversity and inclusion, but it was more so because there was a lot of changes going on, organizational changes, and so as a part of change management, you know, they wanted to make sure that morale stayed high. But as things developed, especially with Ahmaud Arbery and then George Floyd, that culture council, and you know, culture is a kind of code word for diversity, and you know, the focus of that culture council kind of shifted a little bit and is much more focused on diversity and inclusion. And the people that were on that council have definitely started talking more about the issues that are going on around the country, issues that Black people face, you know, every day. And that started, you know, that leaked outside of the council itself, and folks just within the division itself are talking much more just about issues and stuff. So far, you know, it's been opening discussions, and so we'll see what happens. You know, I'm waiting to see, you know, what kinds of practices they put in place or policies they put in place that will result in, you know, more inclusion, more transparency, and so forth. But we're off to a good start, I guess.
I mean, well, that definitely sounds like a good start, you know, coming from FEMA for sure. Any government, like federal government agency that's willing to address and recognize, even if it is just an email, you know, you got to start at some inception point, or even though no matter how minuscule it is, to have that conversation. I mean, our school, which is a predominantly Black predominantly Black, first predominantly well off, doing well, Black charter school, they made the announcement of saying that we would be observing Friday, Juneteenth, June 6th, is it 6th?
19th.
June 19th as a holiday, just 2 days before, you know, June 19th itself. So it started to become like a trend. And I know a lot of people kind of felt some type of way about it, but, you know, like, oh, everybody's just jumping on a bandwagon. I'd rather they jump on a bandwagon some kind of way, because it was never something that was even considered a true quote unquote holiday. One is the fact at least it's not pagan. That's like one of the few holidays that's not even pagan. So I'm grateful for that. And in terms of a few things, I did have the opportunity, along with Chelsea Green and Solomon Howard, to participate in a concert. It was a virtual concert that was put on by PG, Prince George's County's Parks and Recreation. And I'm just going to share just the first clip with you all for those who weren't able to tune in, so that you can kind of like, you know, see what it was. So here we go. When I thought about this opportunity to be able to come to perform, and considering how the climate of our country has just become, I think about how one person was able to change the forecast of our hearts, so that it wasn't just simply something about Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace, say her name, say his name. that we became unified in the understanding that under all of the circumstances that we're going through, that there is only one person, one being that really could have gotten us to this point. And I've thought about my grandmother, who's only 2 generations removed from me, that was picking cotton, and how much oppression we've overcome, but yet how much we have to go forward. It's something to keep our mind stayed on some form of positivity. And I think about this song here, God Has Smiled on Me. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's staying good to me. Yeah. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's staying good to me. See, he's the source of my joy. He fills me with his love. Everything that I ever needed. See, the Lord, he sends it down from above. Oh, my God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's been good. Yeah. Oh, my God has been so good. 2020, yeah. Gonna make history, He's been good. Oh, God has been good. So, I had the pleasure of, doing God Has Smiled on Me, and I feel like, oh, thanks, cause I feel like that was such a necessary song, because I just feel like there's so much turmoil, there's so much emotions, there's so many things going wrong, that is refreshing to know that in spite of all this going wrong, if you believe in God, Allah, whoever your God is, I believe in Jesus Christ, but for whomever else that is watching, for sure that has to be a greater power to get us, still marching on, especially with so many people who are experiencing, death in their family and friends, and in the culture of a lot of artists, specifically T Guns, who is the owner still of Core USA, which is a clothing line. He had several retail stores, 3 of which in the Maryland area, Annapolis, National Harbor, as well as Pentagon Mall. Unfortunately, passed away just 3 days after Father's Day. And so, with so much going on, it's like sometimes you just need to hear that. And I'm still getting text messages from people that say my sister or my brother or my cousin passed away. And it, that has to be difficult for sure. But in terms of bringing some lighter, relief, and a lot of the artists are starting to be able to perform, there have been opportunities for a lot of virtual concerts. And so that was my first experience like trying to figure out how to virtually do all these things. But major shout out to James McCrae of McCrae Multimedia, who filmed everything, also made sure that everything was properly mixed, and shout out to his good cousin who owns the studio that we shot everything in, and giving me that opportunity because it was something we had to do in a drop of a dime. And I know a lot of artists are trying to really figure out how best to give a concert in a socially distant experience. And luckily BET Awards had thought of the same way of saying, we're not going to cancel the BET Awards. This is our 20th year. And a lot of the artists did kind of almost like music video style versions, performances of their songs, and reflecting on really what we're going through today. And I really loved Anderson .Paak's his song with Six Lack was beyond amazing. Also, D Smoke, Sir, and their mama, like the whole family is beyond talented. I just wanted to share with you all a little bit of what that actually looked like, because it was just so very good. And here it is.
If I don't make it to my pillow for these lights go out, please write about me, cite my lyrics, and know they ignite my spirit. Poor babies fighting depression. We're writing them essays to graduate with no stage on Zoom. Send me the link, I'll check into your room. Cyber congratulate you, then purposely agitate you, ask me questions like how you supposed to protest with no chest, a big heart, but they close down all the gyms. Wish you had both legs. Rolex won't keep you sane and safe from danger. They shut down nature. Where the I'm supposed to place my anger? Ironically, my honesty might make me enemy of state. I trust that God to use my pen to draw his face. Still got my pistol on my waist. If I shout, but ain't nobody to drown. I probably wouldn't go. I sing loud to talk to my inner child. Your dreams played out in echoes. Child, despite the feeling they out the kills. The rowdy about the pesos. Solution for this good institution. Just breathe, we need to let go. Oh, 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 we need to let it go. Oh, we need to let go. Every time they hit us, they gon' say we made a hand. The life ain't a band. It ain't black and white, it's a canvas. Spike Lee, your dreams. Bruce Lee, your tantrums. 2-3 that boy. Go Michael Jordan, go Samson. Knock down the walls around me. Strong and dark and so handsome. Everything around me is shining dark at the time is divine. I found a spark when the clouds leak in the rain.
So definitely they did some, amazing things that, like, visually speaking, that was really dope. And Amanda Seale was the host for the BET Awards. And of course, as you all know about Amanda Seale, she is definitely a person that knows how to incorporate a lot of whatever's going on, whether it's really comical or is heavily mixed with a lot of truth. And a lot of them, almost every single person spoke about, Breonna Taylor. Bevan even has a backdrop of Breonna Taylor saying that, her killers are still walking around. Nothing has been done. They had a post of the DA that was supposed to do something about her case, was instead of, capturing her killers, was having his engagement party instead. You know, people's priorities are just a little skewed. And it just lets you know how that feels. But in the midst of all that, there were some really dope artists that gave great visual representation of how it's important for us to move forward and what that will look like. And then secondly, the Roots picnic was this past Saturday, and there were some really dope artists that were there as well. Again, it was a virtual concert, but SZA performed. I know a lot of people were excited to see SZA because they hadn't really seen her perform in a very long time. And her performed as well as Music Soul Child. And, you know, it was definitely dope arrangements for sure. And so I guess, you know, the next question is like, what do you all feel in terms of how's a lifeline on the versus music battles? Like, are you still participating? Are you still interested? Do you feel like it's starting to get old? Like, what are you all's thoughts?
I just had a conversation with my best friend about it because she was like, "Oh, Jada Kiss and um Fab, they done." I was like, "Oh, okay, I do like both of them, but I'm kind of just nothing is topping that Jill Scott and Erica Badu. Like you just can't. That was so organic, and I guess because it was the first one, it was just very. It wasn't. It didn't seem staged. Like I caught a little bit of the John Legend and Alicia Keys, and I was underwhelmed. So I'm just kind of like, make get some different. I guess maybe some different people. My comment to her was, she said, well, who would you like to see on there? And it got me thinking. I was like, why don't they do like a Tony Tone and Mint Condition, or like somebody that has some some substance. They have not substances in they singing about something, but they have some tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, their catalog is long, it's lengthy. Like, oh yeah, some take me back jump. Like, dang, I could hear this and you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, yeah, we did the Jagged Edge and the 112, but
I'm trying to think who. I mean, I think they need a Chris Brown Usher, like I had said several weeks ago. That would be ridiculous if they can find Sade and get her, you know, a
but
Zoom
who would she go against?
herself. Sometimes it just needs to be you and yourself. That's it. I mean, you know, like I guess they thought about battle because it sounds confrontational,
like versus, yeah.
and people are, you know, they're gravitated towards conflict. You know what I'm saying, and drama.
Yeah.
But like, I just think y'all just need to support certain artists having a show. Like Fantasia had her own show and put that out there, and it was like, you know, it was amazing. But I think, you know, just like Dave Chappelle had his own show, or I would say lecture. You know what I'm saying? Like the virtual experience really does require you to think outside the box because you don't have the person, you don't have the. Okay, so I think as an artist, at least I can speak for myself, there's a major thrill or energy that comes from others, people, humans, being in your space. You know what I'm saying? And not having that is like weird. And you're also thinking about like, okay, how can I keep them engaged? Because, you know, people are not going to watch for a very long time. I mean, you know how it goes here at IAG. I mean, we will have people that will click in for a quick second, and it's harmless. It's just that they're like, okay, okay, and we're good. You know what I'm saying? So I think as an artist, especially independent artists, you have to really figure out what is your lane to maintain engagement. Wow. Was that an aha?
It was an aha moment.
Okay.
We should remember when we first started IAG way back, thanks to the beginning. And I was like, we should do, you know, we're going to do a showcase. At the end of that, we should do an IAG versus for independent artists in this area. Because in my head, I said, okay, Boom Scat versus, why can't I never think of their name? husband and wife.
Blackstone.
Blackstone. Can we?
I would hate to call it versus because they're still two different.
Right. I wouldn't even call it versus. I would call it pluses.
Hey, the IAG pluses coming at you.
Or just showcase both of them separately. You know what I mean? Showcase them. I think that's a good idea to showcase. They're too early. I mean, I know they've been around for a while, but as far as growth and exposure, they're too new to a lot of folks to call it a versus and still and for it to still have a positive effect on both of them. You know what I mean?
Right. Because it would be like a battle.
What they've done. Yeah, it would really come off like a battle. So, but yeah, showcase them.
Yeah, I just think we've done so many. Like we can have a future band showcase. We can. It's like it's so many people that we've had on. Like we legit. I don't know how we.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can, but we should.
Well, I mean, I think so. Here's what I found that seemingly is a problem for a lot of people. The sound, right? I think Junkyard was at the same location I was at, but they were choosing to go real time live, right? A lot of people, what they were doing is their live is we will live record this and then mix the sound and then put it out versus it being like, we're playing the go-go back, you know, like the conga, else like that. The only time that I heard, you know, like a really dope mix to sound was from GDIC. And I don't know why that is. So maybe we should have, you know, we should probably have Dean West come on and talk about how his sound was able to pierce through the internet, because I feel like a lot of people have, you know, sound issues with the internet. And
we don't need no Teddy Riley experience.
Right. Now, nobody has been as bad as Teddy, you know, unfortunately, but, you know, we've all experienced some form of like struggle, and it's not, you know, I don't know if these platforms really are built to withstand all of that, but you know, it's real weird because Jill Scott and Erica's was clear could be. I'm still convinced that, you know, First Lady Michelle Obama told whoever was at on Instagram, you don't mess this up, because they the only people who kind of got it right. I mean, there was even sound problems with Alicia Keys and John Legend, you know, so I don't know, but we would have to figure out how we could get them at a space to then record them, because it has to require a lot of engagement with footage wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't, I remember Trev used to tell us this when we were at one of our locations about like the attention span of the eye getting bored from just seeing
one picture.
Yeah. So we gotta talk about it. If y'all have some ideas and you all have all other artists that you would want to, let's just start compiling and making it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Clearly it's been a long work day. Okay. So
I know, I'm sorry.
But hey, it's all good. Okay, so moving right along, I definitely feel like what's happening with the verses is that the phases of opening is starting to cause people to move from their couch and from their house, and so they're not interested, and they're not as, you know, just focused on what's going on. I don't, you know, and I just think that's part of it, and that's also the, you know, having to figure out how to overcome, you know, that. I tell us in the comments what you all think is the possible reason for why folks are not, we're starting to see a dwindle in engagement as well. But, you know, I think
but the artists aren't as exciting either. I think that's a piece of it. The artists that they've had recently aren't as exciting as the first few that they had. Plus, the whole concept was new at first. So anything new, let me check this out. And now it's not as much. And then for me personally, while I like Fab and Jada, I didn't watch it because I just wasn't tuned into what was going on, my focus started getting away from TV and the internet, and I'm just doing other things. It just wasn't aware, but I definitely would have checked it out had I still been looking at it. I just feel like I've been in the house for 4 months looking at the internet and my phone, and so I'm out doing other things.
Yeah, I think that is true. You know what I'm saying? For sure. If you young,
I'm sorry. I get up since 5.
Oh, working day and night. Okay.
That's why I'm happy for tomorrow's day off. I don't have to get up.
Want to do it. Right. So you should be like, let's stay up for all time's sake.
When you are approaching 40, it go up,
down at them, it go
real quick. It go down roller coaster fast. It's like, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
All right, but you're gonna have a blessed 40 regardless.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so I think one of the things we all definitely need to do, in addition to just being more sharp with our messaging, is definitely making sure our hands are as fast as possible, so whomever needs to catch these hands can literally catch them. In addition to arming ourselves as rightfully as we need to, because these Karens and Calvins, they're really starting to get out of hand here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just walking by your mansion, literally, you have guns pointed out at us. That's a bit much. I really do feel like you need to calm down, because Black lives do matter. And it's like, I think the best person who made this example that probably stuck to me best is like David Arnold. He's a comedian. He was like, listen, now let me ask you this. When you all decide to say, hey, let's put our resources together to save the whales because they're going extinct. The killer whales are going extinct. You say killer whales matter. You don't try to say dogs matter. You don't try to say
dolphins matter. Dolphins.
You don't try to say dolphins matter. You don't try to say the kangaroos matter, right?
All wildlife matters.
All wildlife. You're focusing on the wildlife that's dying, right? You're trying to preserve the ones that are being killed at an egregious rate that might not be able to populate in enough time so they won't be extinct, right? And I felt like that was the best form of analogy that you can probably honestly have, and while I'm saying that, Cassius is trying to get into their office right now.
Because all dogs matter.
All dogs matter.
Except pit bulls. That's what they say. I don't know.
Pit bulls matter. They do matter. I don't have a pit bull, but they say if you get a pit bull as a baby and you learn how to train them correctly, they'll love you to death. But let me plug somebody who matters a lot. A groomer. Speaking of groomers, let's plug our cousin April Clark, who is Royalty Pooch, who's doing a great job. If you all need your pets to be groomed effectively, go follow Royalty Pooch. She got you. But yeah, so all lives matter, they do. But Black Lives Matter specifically. And I want to give a major shout out to Steph the Barber, who's another cousin of mine. I just feel like I'm plugging all my cousins because it's important to plug your family. Okay? Who's a dope barber, has won endless awards for her barbering skills. She did this dope situation. I want you guys to check it out real quickly.
It was pretty quiet here throughout the day on Black Lives Matter Plaza with the rain coming in and out. Some people, of course, still came out to demonstrate. One local barber showed up to advocate for Black lives in the best way she knows how.
I just wanted to be a part of the historical movement.
Barber Stephanie McKee felt drawn to Black Lives Matter Plaza after she saw those words painted on the street. But instead of marching, she lets her razors do the talking. She asked 15-year-old Tyson Wilson if he wanted a free cut and got to work.
Right now, I'm about to put a fist in the back of his head to symbolize for Black power, for all the things that's going on.
What's that symbol mean to you?
It means justice, that we are united, that we all are one.
Stephanie's had to fight her own battle of acceptance.
Being a female barber was tough when I first started this whole industry. I was looked over You know, people didn't want to give me a try. I actually love being a female barber because it set the tone just aside for us women to be strong.
And she says for strong women to uplift their Black brothers and sisters.
It's a rough time for us right now, but I just feel like a change is gonna come soon if we all just stick together and keep protesting and expressing ourselves and showing, you know, the movement.
Now, Tyson is a walking symbol.
It's part of history. I'm just glad to support my people. People are gonna think it's gonna be dumb because I put it on my head, but I just want to represent Black people and Black power because we are strong and we aren't represented equally, and we should be.
For Stephanie, it's cathartic.
Doing designs and stuff in my in the people's head, it just give me life. I ain't gonna lie, it does. It makes my soul crawl.
As it does to see this fist of Black power raised to the most powerful office in the country. If you'd like a similar cut from Stephanie, I'll let you know how you can connect with her on our WUSA 9.
Well, we can let you know how to connect with her. Okay. All you gotta do is go to Steph_the_barber, and she will hook you up.
Trip, you should go get your hair cut, Trip. You got enough hair. Your fist will like really stand out.
I'm good. I got my barber. So if I need one,
well, shout out to Steph, who I got my first barber cut experience from her, and she's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have enough hair to put no black. You know, we working on that. But definitely, you know, it's great to see artists finding other ways to show their form of protest. Remember, we talked about alternatives before in case people are, you know, not the one that feels like going down and protesting. And protesting is still occurring, for sure. Even though the media I would say the news has decided to stop showing it, they still are occurring. And then also, one of the things we got to remember is there are a couple of people who are saying, I want to give you all money to support you in your artistry. And that's really important as well. So there is an initiative for artists and from the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities. They have a new grant called the Arts and Humanities Fellowship for $10,000 and has included go-go as one of the funding categories. It's actually due July 10th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go search up the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities to see how you or your friends or business partner can, you know, apply and obtain funds to further your desire. IAG may need to apply to ensure we can properly put on these concerts that we want to put on. So that's definitely something we are considering.
These showcases.
Showcases, absolutely. Then Verizon has established an initiative to support women-owned businesses that can offer web-based classes in a myriad of fields, as to say holistic health, arts, and financial services. And that application is actually due tomorrow or today for those who are watching, Friday, July 3rd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you're chosen, notice my language. When you are chosen, you will receive $5,000 to offer 2 30 to 60-minute virtual events. Okay, so people are, you know, starting to develop opportunities for artists to get back on their feet, to support them in their artistry. And so sometimes the best thing to do is just to apply, and at least by applying, they get to know who you are, they get to know your name, and then that's how you build a rapport for funders. And so that's definitely something you want to keep abreast with. And then sidebar, this Thursday night happened at 8 p.m. And then on Tuesday, July 7th, at the same time, some cool indie artists have gotten together to perform to raise funds for the Ladies of Howard University Scholarship Fund. And they are trying to raise $25,000. You can go to their Facebook to support their cause, and yours truly will be performing on Tuesday. So get those dollars, baby, and go ahead and support them. And then speaking of dollars, have you heard of a susu?
Mm-hmm.
What have you heard about a susu?
put your money in and you get some money out some days or weeks later.
Okay, absolutely.
More than you put in.
More than you put in. Okay, so some people have been. This is starting to be like a hot topic or a hot conversation or a thing to do. Some folks are apprehensive, while others are like, you know what? Boom, let me get it down and popping. So if you ever are interested in learning more information about a susu, you can contact me directly at Sharice Reese, or you can contact Bevan and find out like what susus are and how you can be a part of them. Basically, it's an opportunity to pool your money together in a trusted environment of people who are either friends or family. And there are different forms of susus. Some susus objective is to end up with, say, everybody has one business, or everybody is able to, by the conclusion of the susu, everyone is able to purchase a home, or purchase a vehicle, or pay off student debt, or what have you. While others are, hey, put your money in within 2 weeks or less. Or some others are for 4 weeks. It depends on how much money you want to put in or what have you. But you reap 8 times what you put in. And so you regift that going back into the flower. We call it gifting flowers. And so no, this is not a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are basically when one person's at the top of the chain and no one else could ever make it to the top, while this is everyone is supported and making sure that everyone makes it to the top, right? So if you want to learn more about that and different ways to financially support yourself in a legal manner, please reach out to us. You can hit us up on iagradioshow@gmail.com or just IAG Radio Show, period, and we will be gladly able to talk to you in greater detail about that. But one of the biggest things is that you just got to buy black. Dior Ashley Brown's been saying that for the last 2 years. Buy black, okay? And that is a great way to ensure that you put your money back into the community. Definitely Tulsa was a place of more than millionaires. There were several millionaires. It wasn't just one person capitalizing and everyone else struggling. They learned how to work together. So we definitely, if at a time, is the time now for us to honestly start working on how we can pull our resources together. And so speaking of resources, Tropical Smoothie Iverson Mall is a friend to the show. Shout out to them because they just opened their brand new Tropical Smoothie location in Northeast DC.
Dakota Crossing, absolutely. We used to work at Lowe's over there. For those who don't know, I guess I used to work at Lowe's. My cousin hooked me up with that job after Trump got in the office and Homeland Security was like, what in the world is going on here? So definitely, y'all, if y'all are in DC, go. That's a beautifully well-organized Black business. If you want to, get something to eat healthy and drink healthy, please, by all means necessary, go support them in their new store. And, before we get to our special guest tonight, TamaraBubble, let's take a listen to a friend of the show who has come on for many of times. And I'm texting her right now to make sure she comes on in. But I want to give a major shout out to Kendra Rutledge. Kendra Rutledge is a phenomenal bass player in the DMV area. I've had the pleasure of working with her on several times. She's recorded the bass on several of my songs. And I love this situation right here because I feel like during quarantine, it gave you opportunity to figure out, like, should I explore more my gifts or what should I do? And, I guess a lot of people didn't know that Kendra can sing, honey. She can play and sing. And she had said she didn't want to be technically an artist, but, when you got a song that's sounding like a go-go mix of Brandy experience, you got to be something, Kendra. Okay,
So, here we go.
Close your eyes, don't be scared to fantasize. Let me take you to that distant land. All you gotta do is take my hand. Come along with me, come talk with me. My one and only boy, let me show you more. Just fly with me, take a ride with me, live your life with me, the one you've been waiting for. Now when you sound asleep, you dream that I'm everything you need. I want to destroy all of your frustrations, baby. Have you feeling good, boy, I'm here. All you gotta do is open your eyes and I'll be by your side, yeah. Come walk with me, come talk with me. My one and only boy, let me show you more. Let me show you. Just fly with me, take a ride with me, live your life with me, the one you've been waiting for. Come on.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm feeling that one too.
Yeah, that was a vibe. I like that a lot. I can hear that at the cookout. That's not gonna happen. The virtual cookout for me.
Man.
Well, that's so dope right there. That's Kendra Rutlish's new song coming out as a independent. I don't even know if she want to call herself independent artist, but a vocalist, boo boo. Okay, so we can add bass, mommy, and vocalist on there. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely
Okay.
a good look for sure. And so, with that being the case, let's move on to our special artist for this evening while she gets things together to join us for tonight. Definitely, let's talk about TamaraBubble. Okay, come on here. So we met. Well, let me back it up. Tamara found us about 2 years ago, and that just speaks to her, just go get her personality in the sense that she didn't let anything kind of stop her. She did a search for podcasts that were focusing on independent artists, and literally that's how she found us 2 years ago. And since then, things have been very, very amazing. And here she is, yay!
There she is.
Yes, there we go. So, Madam Bubble, let me tell you, Bubble's on deck right here. Okay.
Hey, yes. What up? What up? Bubble on deck. You know what it is.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So, welcome to IAG. This is our first time that we had you in person.
Word.
I
Curls popping. I see you. I see the curls popping.
Okay, definitely. So I wanted to give people kind of a backdrop on who you actually are, and what you've accomplished thus far.
Okay.
Just from simply searching us out and then, getting in touch and like how you've been able to maneuver your artistry as an independent artist for sure, which is a big accomplishment in of itself. But let me just run down some of the things you done accomplished. Okay.
Okay, cool.
She has had many songs on placements of the shows. Shows like Insecure. Speaking of which, let me take a quick pause and let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do real quickly. I think I got something here that can talk about this pretty well. Let me see.
I get it done. I get it done. Girl, are all these clothes for the mixer? Huh? You know your neck's not long enough for these turtlenecks.
Well, girl, I'm exchanging all these. Condola got me meeting in all these fancy spots, and I gotta rotate my wardrobe to keep up. I mean, these don't fit.
You need me to help out with anything for the mixer?
Hell yeah, I'm putting everybody to work. Condola got all these important ass people coming. Target, Sonos, Casamigos, Baby Fat.
Oh, shit, girl, these are like real brands. That's legit, right?
I got Wayne from the Popeyes on Centinela and Dirty James from Jam's Creamery.
I mean, girl, everybody loves you from Popeyes.
I knew it. This mixer is not about to match the level of people coming. And because of Condola, people are going to expect elegance. And here I am inviting Target to my apartment. Why did I think I could do this?
Girl, first of all, don't act like you don't have shit to offer. Okay? You've planned events before. You've raised money. Yes, this is on a bigger scale, but bitch, you way more now.
I don't like that metaphor, but I appreciate your energy.
And also, I'm thinking of inviting Andrew. And he works in Live Nation, so bloop, you know important people too.
P+1 status?
You know, we're just having fun. Plus, the nigga got jungle fever, and he is infected. Okay. He patient zero in this motherfucker. That's nice. Yeah, you know, I feel like I got it.
Yeah, girl, you got it.
You can't keep doing this.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me what to do.
Hey, just so I don't fuck it up, Andrew wanted to know if he should invite Nathan to the mixer, and I said I would ask you.
Oh. No, you shouldn't come. But thanks for telling me. If you were a dress, I would keep you.
Hey, there we go.
Okay.
There we have it, folks. She gets it done. We're gonna stop right there because there's so many more songs that Insecure has allowed us to hear by way of our guest tonight. Because why? She's just dope. Okay, so you guys can like literally look at several songs. Excuse me. On Insecure. Let's see what else we have here. All American. I mean.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm just only speaking about two of them. Okay, two main well-known shows, but you know, there's a plethora of shows that she's done. So she is the pop diva, rapper, singer, writer. And I would call her a marketing guru. And, you know, let's listen to one of her newest songs on her latest album. Your favorite rapper is a girl, 2, BigBoss. Here we go.
Throw a little sauce on it, I'ma throw it. Throw a big boss on it, I'ma throw it. Throw it, throw it, throw it back. Throw it, throw it, throw it back. Throw a little sauce on it, I'ma throw it. Throw a big boss on it, I'ma throw it. First to come catch these hands, and we don't poly with them birds that we flyer than. Yeah, I'm loyal to a foe, so don't blame my friends. Why everybody wanna beef when they so thin? I can order you around like the takeout at steakhouses, booties on the ground in the cake house with nice blouses, good weave and big achievements and good hair up underneath. You know we run these streets, so educated. I've been graduated. I'll smart all you haters, cause I am the greatest. Sauce in the mix, big deal, big deal. Yeah, I know I got you nervous. How you feel? How you feel? So educated, been graduated. I'll smart all you haters.
There. So Big Boss, if you guys can go and download this song here, Matter of fact, you can download her whole album on every platform. Just Google her. You know what I'm saying? And she's gonna pop up. Okay. You can say Google me, baby, and there she goes. So, Madam TamaraBubble. Okay. How are you handling things now in COVID? What was your initial thoughts, and how have you resurrected yourself?
So I guess I didn't really slow down because I already had so much music prepared. Like I'm just sitting on music. So like for sync, I'm always writing, and just always pitching my music for placement. So a lot of the music that's not released yet is already here, and just like I'm sitting on it. So even during COVID, they still were sending out requests for briefs and stuff. Like a lot of the film and TV projects had like slowed down because they couldn't do production. But like the ones that they've already filmed it and they're looking for music, I was still able to pitch to that stuff. I know even for COVID too, like the ads where they're looking for like sentimental music and like whatever ballads, they're saying like, we all can make it through these times and stuff. And they even like, there's even been requests too with just like everything that's going on as far as like Black Lives Matter. They've been requesting like just, soulful songs for just that cause. And like some people have been putting up commercials in light of that, which that has been going on. But I feel like people are just now starting to pay attention, or, America in general is just now starting to pay attention. So it was like, it was funny because people were asking me, "Oh, are you making material for that?" And I was like, "No, this been going on. Like I've been had songs for this. This is not like, oh, I need to go be inspired by this. Like we living and breathing this every day. Y'all just, getting familiar with it." So it was like, it wasn't something I need to catch up on. But just with COVID in general, like work didn't slow down for me for music. Because I only thing that slowed down was me as far as like recording, because I do record in the studio. So I had to make sure like the setup was like, okay, I'm not willing to die to make no new songs. So we just gonna hold off until, it's just one engineer and you stay over there and I'll stay in the booth and we do this right. So I just been playing catch up recording stuff. But I never even stopped writing. Like I just had a bunch of songs stockpile and producers had still been sending me beats. So it was just a matter of time of when I could start recording again, and I'm back at it.
Okay, like a true New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? Been doing this.
Been doing this.
Okay, son. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But
word.
So you found yourself to be more creative, in the sense of, being able to write more versus it just being like, okay, let me do this and that. Were you more focused in on your writing and developing that, or how would you say, what is develop more of?
I don't feel like I don't even know if I felt like I've just fell behind in the recording. Like I've always been, for me, it's like I could be having a conversation with somebody and a song will pop in my head, and I usually stop what I'm doing. Like, especially if I'm on the phone or something, I'd be like, let me call you right back because I need to record, what I just thought of. I don't know if this song is the $1 million song or the $1 billion song. So I just stop and whatever. Word. I know I wrote a few of them. I just got to get it out there. It's a matter of time. So yeah, all the ideas I just get them out of my system, and that's why I be like recording stuff too. Because I know a lot of songwriters, they'll write stuff and they just leave it in their phone. They just leave it on their paper. They just leave it wherever the thought is, and that's almost like just leaving it in your head. I feel like you need to flush those ideas out and hear them on a beat, hear them in the studio, like get with a producer and like fulfill the song. Because you can write all day long, but but if you don't like make the song, because once you finally commit the song to like in the studio and have it recorded, that makes you want to put it out, that makes you want to promote it, that makes you want to share with other people. So I just feel like so you don't block your creativity, just make the song, put it out, and keep going that way.
So I mean, putting things out, it looks like Bubble has some new flavor on deck already. I mean,
word.
So what's up with this new supposed album that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is actually exclusive for IAG radio show because I love y'all, and yes, this is what it is. Okay. First ever mentioning. I have so I dropped Your Favorite Rapper is a Girl in March. And that actually did really well. It's my highest streamed album and has gotten several placements already.
The one that's 101,000 streams.
Yeah, so I Self-Motivated.
Self-Motivated.
Okay. Yeah. Is my highest streamed song, and like I said, these things, the streaming and stuff and the promotion is coming from like me getting placements. Like the songs that are doing very well on like getting into TV and stuff is now like the songs that are popular on streaming platforms, and that's because of the placements. Like I don't even like that's like promotion that I don't have to pay for. But in addition to like this new album that I'm dropping now is called I May Destroy You. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to share this
know what my
music.
text message was to you about it.
This album I feel like is very personal but also very relatable. I feel like this is just the big pink elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about, and just with love and relationships and like pain and like getting over this stuff. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of comfortable and settling. Like they're in a situation that they just cool with. Like this is not what they really want. And I feel like the songs and the messages that I have in this album is just like, if I told you this truth, it probably would destroy you. Like if I tell you how I really feel about you, like I mean, how many people in a relationship, like they don't usually just leave. A lot of times for people to leave a relationship, they cheat to get out. And they see if the person gets so upset with them that they'll leave because they cheated. Rather than just say like, yo, I'm not in love with you no more. Like if I said this truth to you, like it might destroy you. I may destroy you if I really tell you how I really feel. And I think that's what this album does. Like the songs on it are not, this ain't lovey dovey. This is like real talk, like stuff that I feel like people should be saying in relationships now. And I feel like they're not saying it. Like, yo, real talk, a lot of people would be happier probably single than the current relationship they're sitting in. And so I feel like this music needs to come out now. Like, I know we got bigger issues, but like some people is in some deep love issues that they're not addressing. They just chilling, comfortable, and just, and then be like, it's funny too, because it's like a lot of people can be happy, like, oh, you know, we made it. We
Oh man,
Oh,
I was so tuned in.
come through
you
right
know
now.
what I'm saying?
Straight savage.
You there, boo? You still there?
So that's what I'm. Yeah, I just that's what this album is. The words may destroy you, but it's truth, and it's going down, and there's a lot of people that probably feel the same way that I'm expressing. So I want to put this music out. But yeah, it's on.
So let me ask you,
When can we look for this? I'm excited. When? Is there a date?
I didn't set a date yet. But it's soon. It'll be soon. I'm trying not to like just throw too much music out, but it's coming very, very soon. And actually, you guys have I gave one of the tracks to Sharice, so you guys have one that we're gonna hear tonight. But
Hollywood,
yeah,
everybody's trying to act real big and bold, honey. But there's only a few people getting to Hollywood.
I'm in a weird place. We in a weird space. On a roller coaster, levels apart like we on a staircase. Hope the whispers don't escalate. Temperatures on the rise. Way up, they up, too hot right now. Lost my inside voice before we left the gate. Look your face in the mirror. Let them actions reveal you. That reflection familiar? That dirt you did still there? He say, she say, both sides all day. Let's get it out the way, then say less. Matter of fact, nah, don't say nothing to me. I'm on my Hollywood. Too real and I'm too good. Don't say nothing to me. I'm on my Hollywood. Don't say nothing to me. I'm on my Hollywood. Don't say nothing to me. I'm on my Hollywood. Definitely got a secret or two you've been keeping. When I was still living, speaking to you. Less than a week or two, you want the truth now, or you just want to keep on creeping? Is that what we seeking? Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, tit for tat. What am I supposed to do? You looking for the real when it ain't even in you. Look your face in the mirror. Let them actions reveal you. That reflection familiar? That dirt you did still there? He say, she say, both sides all day. Let's get it out the way, then say less. Matter of fact, nah, don't say nothing to me.
Listen, so the Hollywood experience, we're going to ensure that everybody gets the Hollywood experience, and I'm gonna make sure we're gonna just put it up. We're gonna do a special flyer with the official MP3 and everything else like that, so that you know everybody can kind of like see the visual and then see let them know what's good about Hollywood as you going in on people and everything else like that. So definitely my question to you, Tamara, is like, how did you get into the art of syncing your music? Like, who told you about this? How did you figure this out? Did you figure it out on your own? And then what has been your strategies since then? I mean, I think I know some of them, finally.
So I got into to sing out of necessity. Like, so for me, I didn't want to be signed to a label. I just felt like there was way too many artists that like complained when being on a label, being shelved by the label, or even if they weren't shelved, they're not able to put the music they want to put out. They can't write it. Like some artists, they have to have writers come in and write their stuff. And I just felt like that in and of itself, just like me and all the genres of music that I make, that I needed to put up my music. So for me, the label was out of the door, the publisher was out of the door, and then I also didn't want an investor to like come in and do the same thing a label would do just because they gave me money. So it's like I need to fund my own music career, and so I was looking for ways in music to be able to do that, so that I could just make music 24 hours a day, so to speak. And that's how I found Sync, because I took classes on like how to make money as an artist with your artistry, and that was just like one of the topics in the course. And then I just like I didn't even finish the rest of that course. It was just like when I saw that, well, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. And I just focused everything on that, and just started like cranking out material and getting to know a ton of music supervisors, and they liked the music and they were able to find places to use it, and so I just kept making more. So it was like, okay, each song is like a lottery ticket. You don't know if this one gonna go, if that one gonna go. If I make hundreds of songs, like one of them gonna go. And so when I make money off that song, I can reinvest and then continue to put out music. So it's just like, funding me now, like with what I do. So I'm just, always just creating, always pitching it, and always getting it out there. And then, so the strategy really has been like when I get a placement, then I drop the music so that it's kind of relevant to, the media that it's being featured in, if it's in a commercial or whatever. Now it can be my new single is in this commercial. So that just makes more heads like turn to it and be willing to listen to it. And it's just been like a great promotional tool to get the same placement. So I just, continue to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you are a true advocate. You are the person who even told me about like SyncCon and
word.
When we finally were able to meet each other in person, in LA this past December. Who would have thought we would be in this situation right now? But it was like a great field of embodiment of just learning new and seeing new people and getting to know, like, surprisingly, a lot of the people who make the moves, their Instagrams don't look like they popping at all. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that really should help a lot of independent artists to know, like, don't get overly whelmed with this thought of I gotta have 50,000 followers, because you don't. You gotta learn how to grind differently. And it's independent, but there are people like yourself who are willing, who are not ashamed, not trying to keep things from other people, because it's so vast that the opportunities are available to them. And I feel like that is the game changer of being an independent artist. Some people are performers and that's all they are, and that's totally fine. But there's a business component to it, and the business state beyond trying to get Spotify to find a playlist to get your song on that is already booming. There's this idea of, hey, work harder, work smarter, not harder. It's still gonna be hard work, but not as hard. And that's a huge accomplishment to get your music on national television, and it's and even on cable, on Netflix. Opportunities and especially commercials. I mean, it's limitless. I mean, the struggle is getting it there, but I feel like once you have music that you feel is credible enough to then link with the right music supervisors to know when they're asking for things. I think that's also the bigger issue of knowing when that information comes out. And you have been very strategic and a go-getter way to ensure that there is no like door unturned, no, I guess it's leaf or stone unturned. And I know it's not always easy, but for sure, you have a beautiful personality and a gift beyond measure. And I do love you. You know what I'm saying? But I know great things are going to continue to unfold for you. I'm just waiting to see when Atlanta meets LA. We're probably gonna be there the same daggone time. But but we all know how to reach you. And if you guys don't know how to reach her, you should just go to Instagram or just, as I already said, Google her. Okay, period. But you can find her at TamaraBubble. Okay. So, and I guarantee you, although she's talking about Hollywood, she won't act Hollywood towards you. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the blessing right there for sure. Okay. She's a sweetheart. So, y'all clap it up for Madam TamaraBubble.
Thank you for having me. Once again, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for your patience. Okay. We love you, honey. Thank you so much for everything. And we will holler at you later, okay?
Yes.
Bye, boo.
Definitely. Okay. Bye.
Bye, honey. So definitely, there we have it, guys. That is Madam Bubble right there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that was dope. I really like that. Insecure. I definitely watch. I'm an avid Insecure watcher. And it always just gives me a vibe of, oh, I just need to be in Cali, living my best life. And the music plays such a strong role in that. So it's so dope, seeing what she's done and what she's doing and how she's moving. I like that a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and I think her story and who she is and her successes are just really impeccable. Like there's no shadiness, there's no haterization, there's no I think I'm better than you. She's confident. That New York confidence is most certainly there, but like she's so willing to share and provide resources, which is sometimes a little difficult in the independent artist realm because everyone feels, like, oh, I don't want you to know this because then if you know it, then I won't be able to shine in it. And it's really not that kind of situation. And some stuff you don't know until you get to a certain level or you meet other people who are doing great things. And a lot of stuff she's doing, she's outbeating the record labels, you know what I'm saying, in terms of getting her songs placed as frequently as they are, which is a great thing. I mean, she just said she didn't have to do any promotion just because the song was on the show, right? She grossed her highest reaching stream song to this day, 101,000 streams. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and I can see how. I know I watch shows all day, and if I hear a song, something catch my ear, oh, let me Shazam this, see who this is. Oh, let me download it, let me purchase it. So
yeah. And you remember, I think it was like, it might have been BET a couple of years ago. They started like during, like, if it was like Love and Hip Hop, VH1, Love and Hip Hop or whatever, they were playing a song. They would
link the artist.
They would link the artist, yeah. And that was definitely a big deal for a lot of artists. I know Torian brought in a lot of artists that we played on the show that Trev Spin based off of certain shows that she's heard about. And those Insecure, we played a lot of artists from off of Insecure show. So let's get with this B with this T situation.
Let's get with it.
What's going on?
That's a little bit.
Okay.
It's empty. So we're gonna metaphorically fill it.
Overflow.
We're gonna metaphorically fill this cup.
It's gonna be the water. It's gonna rain in.
Look, so I know everybody has seen it. Everyone has heard it. Everyone is awaiting this red table talk with Jada Pinkett versus Jada Pinkett because she said August Alsina is lying. And August said, nah, sis, you and I were in a romantic relationship and your husband or your life partner, Willard, gave the blessing. And Will and Jada said, nah, B. And then Jada said, there's some healing that needs to be done. I'm going to bring myself to the table.
So wait, reel that back in. So Jada, who's a Virgo, and August Alsina, who also is a Virgo, August said, well, before this point, I could have sworn there was a conversation surrounding this last year. And
There was. They were super close, and she was, I allowed him to stay here while he was healing, going through his time, and when she had him on Red Table Talk.
Okay, yeah, I thought I saw that.
He was on the show, but nobody never said they was romantically linked. I'm not gonna say smash because that wasn't the words I heard.
Okay.
I heard romantically linked. So, I mean, I'm very curious to see this episode of Red Table Talk. I want to see Jada sit down with Jada and spill some truths.
Well, they got the kind of good technology where that could actually happen.
Defute some lies. I don't know. I mean, how do you? I mean, it's the telltale. It could be somebody lying on the thing. Men have been lying on the thing for years. But
PA is what they need.
I was waiting for Trent to turn around. I was waiting, but I don't. How he ain't lying, Trent?
I find it hard to believe. I mean, what healing's got to go on if he's lying? What healing does she got to bring to the table?
Maybe she gonna say.
Why do like that gotta lie? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like once you get a little bit of fame, any little bit of fame, you getting them. You know what I mean? So
I know a lot of people that's throwing it at August. He don't even know they throwing it at him. You don't know, but they throwing it. So you right. Why lie? Why lie when you have endless?
Because
you don't have Jada.
He's in love.
So you think he in love with her and she was on some? No, August. I want to be your mentor.
I think she was in love too. I just think that Jada knows how to make things right for, what it appears. You just like all Virgos.
That ain't love though. If you're in love with somebody and you know their situation is touchy, you're not gonna try to mess up their situation by making it this public. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the love move.
That's the get back move.
I think that's called hurt. I think that's called hurt.
Hurt ain't.
I don't know, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Normally, I don't be in and I don't be caring about I don't necessarily care about it, but honey, I want to know. I just want to know. It's not going to help me. It's not going to do anything for me. I'm not getting no money for this, but they put it out there. So can we clear the air? But in other news, the killers for Breonna Taylor have yet to be arrested.
Fair enough.
And this is serious. If you are celebrating your engagement, Breonna Taylor can't celebrate an engagement to her boyfriend, fiance, future husband. She can't. Her mother can't do a wedding. It's not going to be no walk down the aisle for her. So we need to stay just as vigilant for her as we stay for everyone else. And I know it's countless others that have come even after her. But the Black woman is the most disrespected person in America.
Right.
So let's not drop the ball on this one. So please, I'm going to give you guys some instructions.
Okay.
Call this number, 502-735-1784, and talk to elected Governor Andy Beshear and other Kentucky officials and demand justice. We're not asking anymore. We're demanding. You can email attorney.general@ag.ky.gov, and that's emailing Attorney General Daniel Cameron to demand that he charge the 3 officers and the detective who lied on the warrant with the murder. And lastly, we're going to email State Representative Joni Jenkins and Senator Morgan McGarvey and tell them to present a statewide ban on no-knock warrants. And that email is morgan.mcgarvey@lrc.ky.gov and joni.jenkins@lrc.ky.gov. And we are going to support Breonna's law. And we are going to do everything we can do to make sure justice is served in this specific instance. And I'm not downplaying anybody else's instance, but in this specific instance, we gonna make some moves. And that's the T. And that's on period, poo, per.
Well, I don't know how I would feel to be asleep in my bed, sound asleep, and people bust in and no knock, no announcement, and just start shooting. Like, start shooting. That's traumatizing. Like, that's completely out of pocket. That whole situation was completely out. I'm tired of lock them up, let's beat them down first and ask questions later. It's terrible. There was that, did you guys see the guy who was just finished wiring some money to his sister? Some Western Union?
Yeah, I saw that. That was terrible. Really, they just walked up to him. Well, one officer was talking to him, and then the other one walked up behind him, told him, put your hands behind your back, had him, yeah, and just slammed him.
Broke his arm. And the guy was honest.
Like, I can't watch no more, y'all. I'm telling you, I can't. When I see him, I scroll past him. I cannot stand by and see another person victimized. My brain, my heart, my soul, it can't take it. So some of them I don't know. Some I do, some I don't. But I can't take it. I can't keep seeing it. And the fact that it kind of gets more brazen. It's like, yeah, we did it, and so what? What you gonna do about it? So
pretty much.
It's like
defund the police, whatever that means. Shit, because I don't even fully know. But take some of their coin, take it, give them the bare necessities.
They really want to take money that is some of the money that is allocated towards police departments and put it towards other services, so that other types of professionals can respond to certain calls. So when you have a mental health person, maybe you have someone from social services go out to check out what's going on. When someone calls 911 on somebody, they know up front it may be a mental health issue, send somebody with some mental health expertise instead. And so have more money for those types of services to hopefully decrease the number of times you see the police getting involved and escalating the situation. Maybe fund more people that are better trained on how to de-escalate those types of situations.
But the piggyback to that is, though, you have then these white people calling the police in these situations and straight up lying. So it's like, how do you defund the police, you put the resources to someone else to help, but then if they're calling on the wrong thing, this man is having a mental breakdown in the middle of the street, and it's, oh my God, it's a black man and he's blah 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 blah. Their first instinct is, oh, it's a black man and he's tripping, let's go in guns blazing. Not, how can we de-escalate the situation? So it has to be a shift. It has to be, it's a mind shift for crackers that is tripping. And
there's got to be some accountability. There's got to be accountability. And for like the, I already forgot the lady in Central Park that called the police on.
Amy, the bird watcher.
Someone like that's just making a completely false claim. There needs to be a harsh penalty, law against that, where they really pay so that they know, okay, this is a serious thing to make this kind of fake call on somebody. But then on the other side,
felony.
Right, that's a fault. You filing a false report. You are using up resources. You calling the police for this man that's in the park that's not doing anything when they could have been across town taking care of some real issues. Like, yeah, send her to jail, lock her up. It's not enough to just lose your job and be publicly shamed anymore. Ruin their lives the way they ruin ours countless times.
That's like attempted assault at a minimum, because that's what they expect to happen. They expect the police to come and basically assault you.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Yeah.
Like they're expecting something negative to happen, and to that in of itself, for them to say that's the catch in the lie right there. That's the hook in the reel right there, because no one can say, I don't know what white privilege is. White privilege is you calling, come help me. A black man is trying to harm me. There's been too many videos of these Karen experiences. Like, what do you you want? Like, and most of the times they're out of pocket. They're the ones who are wrong. That's the part that really frustrates me the most, is like, these Karens are not just simply like complaining because something really egregiously happened.
Right. You're dead wrong.
You're literally wrong. You start crying, yelling. I mean, I saw one where one Karen cut this guy off and he started filming her.
And then she gonna get out the car crying, and they're going to her aid. Come on now, she's been crying. No, look, them crocodile tears are doing nothing. Right. We don't have sympathy for them tears no more, boo. The tears mean nothing, because our tears and our cries don't mean nothing. So neither do yours. You're wrong. Wrong is wrong and right is right across the board. Whether you're black, brown, yellow, pink, purple, whatever. Wrong is wrong and right is right. And if we do things that are wrong, we are punished to the maximum extent of the law. And if they do things that are wrong, they are slapped on the wrist.
Man, them white girl tears are something else. Them things move.
And they get loud. Like,
damn them tears. I wish she would. The people that record, they are a much stronger person than me. Because I'm not even gonna have the gumption to pull the phone out.
Well, I figured, something out. I had said if something ever happens, and it's time for me to beat their ass. Like if we at Sunoco or Royal Farms or something like that, and somebody try to say something, I'm gonna need for y'all to cut the goddamn cameras real quick, and then bring them back when it's time to bring them back. That's the kind of editing skills I need. That's the support I need.
You need on the fly editing. On the fly editing.
Cut it. Bring it back. Stop touching me. You know what I'm saying? That's the editing that I need. Okay? Because, you know what I'm saying? I've seen too many lockups. I've seen too many lockups, and I'm not trying to be an orange. You know what I'm saying? But if I got, I understand that sometimes you just gotta listen, these fireworks here.
They're definitely over here. I think they trying to buy up all the fireworks so that these people are not gonna have none for their Independence Day. I think it is a plan in place. My friend, he posted, he have a whole thing full of fireworks. I'm like, all of them must go. Where did you buy it from?
Dog, these fireworks, dog. Sidebar. Why are they so damn like these are bombs, dog? These are not fireworks. These are beyond the monument style fireworks. These are like some Afghan.
These are bombs over Baghdad.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just sitting here and I heard it, and I'm over here like,
you ducking. You wait for shrapnel to come to the window.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, this is too much. Like,
they been busting them joints, so like we just gonna have fireworks forever.
Yeah, I'm about to go to Pennsylvania and get me some.
Yeah, I told you I got a friend that got some. You don't gotta go all the way to Pennsylvania. I got a friend. I'll connect you.
It's too much, dog. Like, and it's speaking of fireworks, it's literally from sun up to sundown. Like,
they don't care if the sun is out and you can't see them. Really, they like the boom. I think they like the boom.
That's some quarter stick.
What about the kids? What the ones that shoot out and they chasing each other and pew 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 in them at?
Oh nah,
Brad. When I was staying around Paradise, that was a real thing. And Josiah was out there, and I was like, "Nah, son, you got to come in the house."
Oh.
Cause if a firework hits you, it's gonna be a Hiroshima around paradise. Cause I'm gonna go off.
Come on, Hiroshima. Yeah, but it's definitely a lot. Somebody had said that was a form of protest. I don't know how they're protesting when it's in our neighborhoods. Like, and I don't even live in the hood, and this shit is like, I hear this. It sounds like I'm in the room that's closest to the backyard. Why does it sound like
across that little? It's across that thing that's in your backyard. It's like just opposite on that side.
But it sounds like it's like right here. You know what I'm saying? It just sounds like it's right here. But hey, you know what? I mean, I would take that over people getting killed, like with bang bang guns and all that kind of stuff, for real. But it is a little startling because you like, dang, why? It's 3:00 in the morning, y'all still doing this? Like, you know, this is interesting with this quarantine, non-existent reopening phases of things, you know. But some of the things you should do, you know, I guess that's their pastime. Another good pastime might be gardening. You know what I'm saying? That's a very calm situation. Please don't.
Gardening. No bear.
Don't play it yet.
Did you say gardening?
Gardening.
That's the word. That's what I was looking for. Because I was like,
I missed a few of them out there, so I'll just leave it alone. There've been a few more.
A few more.
Is that a combination of gardening and barbering?
So I don't really know. I don't really know if that's.
I'm gonna just let it go.
I don't know if that was the combo or not, but gardening. Fast, yeah. Gardening. So, you know, some pastimes are like, you know, being outside and planting plants and vegetables.
That's a good one.
You know, and one of the people that I feel like definitely did a great job of just finding her zen during this time is Carolyn Richardson. You know, the fun thing about Carolyn is I met her just in December. She was a keynote speaker for the SyncCon. She went from keynote to mentor to auntie to now she's like my sister for sure. I love her dearly. And she texted me, we were texting today about some stuff, and she let me know that she has a brand new single out called Her Garden, Honey. Okay. And we are about to, you know, play it for her name. Her musical name is Music Carolyn. So you can definitely look her up, Google her for sure. But let's go ahead and play this song for a quick second and see how we feel.
Butterflies leave their cocoon. Come take a walk with me. My calla lilies in bloom. Hummingbirds start to sing. Come to the ground with me. It's time to welcome the spring. In my garden you can fly. Sunset kisses on honey skies.
Okay, that is definitely her garden. You can find her in her garden. That definitely gives me like that soothing, like that seductive, like coming to my garden, metaphor experience going on here.
Just the 2020 secret garden.
Ooh. Okay. I can go for that, sure. But all you guys got to do is go to Instagram real quickly and follow her. You can just do @music, CAROLYN. So that's @music Carolyn. You can find her and definitely plug yourself into her beautiful sounds. I mean, I don't really want people to sometimes I guess some people don't like to make the mention of what they sound like, but to me, Carolyn has a very unique sound, but that is really, really, you could compare it to or say it's similar to that of Jill Scott. And that's a big statement. I'm not just saying that because she's like my play sister, but like she can sing her ass off first and foremost. And she just has that ambiance of vocal capability as well that gives you that true sincere feel. So shout out to her for making a new song and dropping it, which is a big deal. Her day job is, she's a music supervisor at Fox, all of Fox, which is a huge deal to be, and in that position. So shout out to her for that. But y'all, there's a lot of things that people are learning about themselves, pastimes, riding a bike, walking, jogging, cooking. What are some past things that you have learned about yourself in this quarantine experience?
Crickets. No, I have, this is not even I have found that I know I've known this before, but I need to get back to writing. I write very well. And
you speak very fast too. Like you're an amazing reader.
Yeah. So I think that is something that I need to kind of delve back into, that I've kind of realized with quarantine. Just kind of my passion for doing that.
Trey, what about you?
Man, I wish I'd become more passionate about some things. I learned I can't cook one for Don, so I've been working on that. So I'm doing better now. I've cooked for a few people. People eat my food now. There are a couple of dishes I actually like. I did start one of those meal services where they send you the ingredients and give you the directions and all that. So that actually, the first one came today. So that was good. Did tacos, some sort of something tacos. They were good though. They were good. Okay. I got some more in there. And then I'm trying to just get out and do more. So I'm playing tennis, play tennis a lot more now. Ride my bike, get out and do that. Just being active and trying to get more involved with the kids because they're sitting around pretty much doing nothing. Happy about it. My son, he thinks it's just video games all day, every day. He's in heaven right now.
Okay.
But, I'm trying to get them out, get them active, doing some other things. And so I'm enjoying the time, more time at home and all of that. But there's some other things that I've put down that I've invested in that I haven't really done more of. Such as the music, such as DJing. I just haven't. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing. I definitely feel like, we all have, I think more often than not, people, at least with my conversation I've had, people have done kind of like the Bevan thing of rediscovering, like, I need to get back to doing this. I need to just find the time to do that. So guys, let us know in the comments below, what are some of the things that you have decided to get back to, or that you have been able to discover that you actually like, that's also a good thing. I discovered that, I always knew I loved water, watching water, but now it's like I enjoy going on hikes, which is something I don't know. Maybe it's from my Girl Scout days or what have you, but like now it's like I'm not mad about it. You know what I'm saying? And riding a bike is a big deal too. You know, they said there's a huge shortage of bikes. So if you got to hook up on bikes, you should let people know
Right.
that.
Yeah, Trev, let me know because I'm looking for a bike with a fat seat and a basket.
And a basket.
Mm.
I'll let you know. I'll put some
Thank you.
feelers out there.
There you go. There you go. Well, guys, as a wrap up, thank you guys so much for being in tune with IAG Radio Show. You know, you guys are our heartbeats. As always, shout out to our guest for the evening, TamaraBubble, who, you know, is doing great things. Please go check her out. All the artists' music that we played tonight. Kendra Rutledge has her new song, Take My Hand. And we heard 2 songs from Tamara and also Carolyn as well, her garden. You know, so, and we'll keep you abreast on how we will put together this IAG showcase, because it's definitely be a dope thing to be able to just spotlight and give some artists the opportunity to perform, and prayerfully in a non-stressful way. You know, we know it's virtual, but we all have experienced some type of, you know, sound complications or concerns, but we can get through it. And the biggest thing is when you start doing it, once you get over that hump, it becomes a little bit easier. And then I also encourage everybody to just pick up something, you know, to look at themselves and have some time for reflection. I know I downloaded this app called The Pattern. It definitely helps to like look at your sign and your astrological sign. And it also helps you to kind of like see areas that you need to work on and why you feel the way that you feel about certain things. So I encourage you, it's not a paid advertisement. It's just something that is of use that you can kind of look into. And on this holiday weekend, just take some time to enjoy yourself and, you know, try to keep as positive as possible and don't beat yourself up. Just keep trying. You know, every little bit counts. And so with that, IAG, baby.
IAG, baby.
Slim.
Okay, Lizzo, I see you out here repping all the girls out here, giving us that pride we need. Taurus game 100, baby. IAG, baby. Woke up feeling like I just might run for president. Even if there ain't no president, switching up the messaging. I'm about to add a little estrogen. Buy my whip by myself, pay my rent by myself. Only exes that I care about are in my chromosomes. I don't really need you, I'm a call it fucking home alone. Diamonds in my collarbone. Buy my whip by myself, pay my rent by myself. Sugar, spice, and a nice, show me what you made of. Crazy, sexy, cool, baby, with or without makeup. Got nothing to prove. I'ma show you how I do. Find me up in Magic City, passing hundreds out of bands, and I throw it like a girl, throw it like a girl. Hanging out at 750, feeling bossy in my city, 'cause I run it like a girl, run it like a girl. I work my femininity. I make these boys get on their knees. Now watch me do it, ayy. Now watch me do it, ayy. I'ma do it like a girl. Shaka Khan through the fire like the kerosene. Lauryn Hill told me everything is everything. Serena Williams told me I can win the Wimbledon. Put me on, let's go. Better me, better win. Sugar, spice, and a nice, show me what you made of. Crazy, sexy, cool, baby, with or without makeup. Got nothing to prove. I'ma show you how I do. Find me up in Magic City, busting hundreds out of
Bye, guys. See you guys next time.